Hello everyone. This is the very first lecture for 11th Commerce and the subject is accounts. The video lecture has been prepared so that consistency in the subject can be maintained during the period of lockdown. You all had a long vacation and probably it's the time to study now. We are not able to meet face to face, and so we are going to continue with the video lecture. So the subject is accounts. The subject is completely new for you. So far you have studied different subjects up till 10th, and now that you have chosen commerce, accounts is the main subject, I can say. That does not mean that other subjects are not important, but accountancy is most important among all. So in today's video lecture, we are going to start with the very first chapter of your textbook. We'll have introduction of the subject, of course, because it is new. We'll understand what actually accounting is, and we are also going to study its definition and meaning. You should not worry about anything. This is the very first lecture and the subject is completely new. So the chances are that you might face a little bit of difficulty in understanding. In case, then you should continuously watch the lecture again and again, and you should be regular in all the lectures. Yes? So slowly the regularity of watching lectures will result in a better understanding. Yes? So we are going to start the first chapter from part 1 of your textbook, which is accounting and its terminology. Alright? I hope you all have your textbooks with you, and if not, you should purchase them by now. Yes? And now onwards, you will keep your textbook and a writing book and also other essentials along with you while you watch this video lecture. Yes? And I request you all to watch this video carefully till end for complete understanding. Now, what is the reason behind this? If you watch the lecture just for, say, if the lecture is of 30 minutes and you watch it only up till 20 minutes, and the very next day you are going to watch the second lecture, is it possible for you to understand everything? No, just because you missed the last 10 minutes. Or else I can say you watch the video for 10 minutes and then you continue watching it after 5 minutes. No, with breaks. No, that's not good. You should watch it continuously without missing even a second, and you are supposed to watch it till end. Yes? Always remember, once you miss a single lecture, it is difficult for you to understand the things explained in the very next lecture. Yes? So please keep this point in your mind. Alright? So, firstly, talking about the subject. You are dealing with this subject for the very first time in your entire life. Yes? Now let us consider a simple example to understand this. You were all in primary or high school. Yes? When you were a kid, you were in pre-primary, primary, anything. In short, when you got admission in the school. Yes, in school we are probably, not probably, but of course, we visit school for the purpose of study. So, what are the subjects? What is the list of the subjects that you have studied so far? There are many. Let us consider the example of mathematics. Yes, when you got a textbook or your teacher, when he or she was teaching you, when he or she started teaching you the subject for the very first time, what did they explain? Obviously, the basic concepts. Yes, that probably can be addition, subtraction. Even before that, you were supposed to learn the numbers, that is 1, 2, 3. Yes, it sounds funny at this moment, but this is all basic that you've learned. Yes. So, firstly, you were supposed to count that how many items are presented, and then you are supposed to write down that yes, there are 3 balls, there are 4 chairs. Yes, and slowly, you have learned addition, you've learned subtraction, division. Yes, if you remember, in each and every standard that you were moving, that is from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, until 10th, you had this subject, mathematics, and its level increased in every standard. Understand a simple thing from this. If you were not aware of the basic math, that is, if you don't know how to multiply, how to subtract, is it possible to, is it possible for you to solve any problem sums or any other further examples, sums, anything, any sort of chapter? Is it possible for you? No, you have to learn the basic concepts first of all. Yes? Now you all might be thinking that why I have considered the example of mathematics only. Yes? Most of you, or else I can say 95% out of you will say that we don't like mathematics. Yes, mostly children do answer this. Why? Because we find it difficult. Now, why do you find it difficult? Because your base is not clear. Yes? So consider this example with this subject now. This subject is for the first time, and the very first chapter, or I can say the entire 11th standard, part 1 and part 2. In these two textbooks, all the chapters which are disclosed will form a strong base for the subject. Yes? If you pay attention carefully from the very beginning, nothing is difficult. Same applies to the subject mathematics. Yes? So, you should pay attention. You should not miss any of the video lectures. Yes? Fine. So, the subject is followed in standard 12th even and further everywhere. As you have chosen commerce, this is the common subject that will appear in each and every field that you choose. Yeah, and it is very important. Alright. So in today's lecture, we are going to have introduction. Then, as I said, what is accounting? We'll understand its definition and meaning. Okay, fine. Now, simply speaking, accounts. Accounts is to keep records. To keep records of what? Keeping record of transactions. Now, this is the new word. What is a transaction? The word is, of course, new, but once I'll explain, you'll all get to know it very easily that this was so simple. We are conducting many transactions every day. Yes? Fine. So, transaction is an exchange of goods or services in terms of money. Yes? No doubt there are many other transactions which cannot be measured in terms of money, but let us consider for now which can be measured in terms of money. Simply speaking, you want to eat a packet of biscuit or chocolate. What you are going to do? You will visit the shop, you will buy the same, and what you are going to give in return? Money. And what did you get? A pack of biscuit or a chocolate. So this is a transaction. Another example. You are an employee. You are working with some company, or you are working at some place, some other place. Yes? So you are providing service by working at that particular place. And in return, what do you get? You get money. This is a transaction again. Alright? These are monetary transactions. Yes? The one which can be measured in terms of money are monetary transactions. Alright? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So let us start with the first point mentioned here, which is barter system. You all might have heard this word in the subject social, if I'm not wrong, in the previous standards. What is barter system? It is a very, very common word. It simply means that when there was no presence of money, people used to exchange things among them to fulfill their needs. Yes, if I want a pack of milk, I'll have to ask a person that you will give me a pack of milk or grain, wheat, anything, and in exchange I'm going to pay, I'm not going to pay, I'm going to give him some other commodity. That means we are exchanging things because there is no other medium of exchange. Yes? Let us consider a simple example again. If I am in need for a sugar, so a person having sugar will give me sugar, and in exchange I am going to give him wheat. Yes, so all the transactions in ancient times used to take place in this manner when there was no presence of money. Yes, the system of barter system, barter system prevailed in earlier time, earlier times when there was absence of money. Yeah. So this is also a transaction. Though you did not pay, but you have exchanged something. That means you have given something in return to get something. Yes? So this is also a transaction. Now talking about the second point mentioned here, which is money as a medium of exchange. Now, this is the system that prevails right now from past many years, long years. You all know very well, if you want to buy anything, you have to pay some amount in return. You need to pay money to purchase things. You need to pay money to have services. You need to pay for everything. Yes? So now money is a medium of exchange. It is at the center point of economic transactions or monetary transactions. The very next point mentioned here is transactions. We have already understood this. Monetary transactions also we have understood. The last point is the most important point. It is record of receipt and payment. Understand. You might have heard many a times that a person is preparing accounts, or a person is working as an accountant. So what do these people do? In whichever firm or at any place that they are hired as an accountant, what do? They keep a record of everything that is happening in your business, in that particular business, I can say. Yes, how much is sales, how much is purchase, what are the expenses, what are the incomes, how much salary is to be given to an employee, how much wages are to be given. Yes, every expense and every income. We'll understand this in detail further. But for now, we are learning basics. So, it is simply a record of receipt and payment. How much is the amount you've received? What are your incomes? And how much is the amount that you pay? And this is recorded so that you will get an idea at the end of the accounting year that whether your business is making profit or it is making loss. Any activity that you conduct, its result is to be obtained. Yes, to know that what is the position of your business. Obviously, you conduct business activities with the purpose of profit. Yes, but many a times it is possible that the business is making loss. How do you get to know? Once you have all the records. Once you have recorded everything, and at the end of the year, you will interpret results. I mean, you will find out the results. You will compare figures. And the result obtained will be profit or loss. If it is loss, you will find out ways that how to convert this in profit. Yes? So it is that simple. Fine. Let us understand the definition that is given by American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Accounting is an art of recording. That means you are going to record all the transactions, classifying, which means you will classify the transactions of a similar nature. Yes? And summarizing. What is summarizing? You will add the necessary detail after classifying the transactions. The necessary information that what this transaction is about. Firstly, you have recorded all the transactions. Then you will classify. Classify means what? Say for example, you will classify them like all the purchase transactions, all the sales transactions, then expenses, incomes. Yes, it is necessary to classify them to get an exact idea about individual transactions overall at the end of the year. Just like you all are categorized that 11th standard is going to sit in this class, 12th is going to sit in this class. What if you are all sitting together? Is it possible to find out every day? No, she is in 11th, she is in 12th. It is difficult. So it is necessary to classify. The transactions of similar nature are classified and then they are summarized. Summarized in the sense the necessary detail about every transaction after the record of every transaction, the necessary detail is added to same. So when you go through the records, you get an exact idea that what about this transaction is actually. Yes? Yes. Summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money. Always remember this. You are going to record the transactions which can be measured in terms of money only in accounts. There are many transactions which cannot be measured in terms of money, but that we are going to understand later. Here the point to be considered is that you are going to record all the transactions which can be measured in money. You will also have this concept in OC, the other subject that you have in 11th. Yes, economic transactions and non-economic transactions. Yes, so from this, economic transactions are a part of accounts. These transactions are to be recorded in the books of accounts. Yes, transactions and events which are in part at least of a financial character and interpreting the results thereof. So the entire process is conducted. You record, you classify, summarize them, and the transactions which are of financial character. Again, the monetary transactions. And why do you carry out such a long process? So that you can interpret the results thereof. You can actually find out that what is the end result of this. End result of this process. Yes, is what I mean to say. Obviously, any sort of work that you carry out has some objective. So, the objective of writing down accounts is to know the financial position of your business. That is your business making profit? Is it making loss? If it is making profit, then how much? And once you get to know this is the amount of profit this year, then you will compare the same with the previous years. And you will find out that whether the amount of profit has increased during this year compared to last year or it has decreased. So many decisions are taken on the basis of the records that you have kept. Yes? Fine. Accounting interpretation is a statement classifying how accounting standards should be applied. There are rules and regulations for keeping accounts, for preparing books of accounts. Yes? Accounting interpretations are issued by accounting standards groups such as Financial Accounting Standards Board, International Accounting Standards Board. Yes, these are the accounting standards groups and they present accounting interpretations. Yeah, these are the authorized bodies. So we have understood the definition. We have also understood the meaning of accounting by now. We are going extremely slow with the lecture, with the explanation. That is, I'm explaining it very slowly just because this is the very first lecture. The subject is completely new. Yes? Once we are habituated, just after 5 6 lectures, we'll do it with a little bit of speed. Yes? So, here we are done with the explanation. Your today's homework is that you are supposed to read the introduction given in your textbook on the very first page of your chapter. You should read it in detail. Once you have studied this video lecture, and then if you will study the introduction given in the textbook, it will create more understanding. Then you are supposed to study and learn the definition. You are supposed to go through the entire video lecture very carefully, and you will prepare your fair books, of course, and you will write down the definition that we have understood. The definition is here. You have to write it down in your fair book. You also have to learn this. You have to understand this. And you should do your homework regularly. Yes? Another thing that I want to add is you should watch these lectures again and again for a better understanding. It is quite natural that we aren't face to face. We aren't meeting face to face during this explanation. So, in case if you find any difficulty in understanding any of the aspects mentioned here in this lecture, you can repeatedly watch this video. Yes, obviously the video can be saved. It is uploaded on YouTube, so it is easy for you to watch it again and again. So you can even pause the same if you are writing down the important points. Yes, but make sure that you study this. Yeah. 11th is the base for 12th standard. And as I said in the very beginning of this lecture, that if your base is weak, it is not possible for you to be strong in the subject further. Yes? So you should make complete efforts to understand this. You should practice this regularly. You should develop a habit of reading it regularly. No doubt this is practical subject, but the very first chapter is about theory. The chapter is a bit longer. So you should not behave like theory is boring or something like that. You should never say that. It is important to understand each and every word mentioned in the first chapter. Everything ahead depends on this chapter. If you don't understand first chapter, which is actually the language of accounting, I can say, you have a new word for everything. Yes? So if you are not aware of the first lecture, the things mentioned, the concepts given in first chapter, it is next to impossible for you to understand second chapter. Yes? So you should keep these things in your mind and you should make complete efforts to study this. Alright? Here we end our session and I'll see you all in the next session very soon. Till then, stay home and stay safe and study well.